live. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Aetherseed Cycle of Stars, our D&D live play game set in my own little homebrew world in a modern era of industrialized might and magic, where you can find and buy cantrips in the pharmacy. Before we jump into things, and tonight promises to be eventful, quickly just go around and we can tell you who they are and who they're playing. So, Olo, take it away.
Hi, I am Ash. I'm playing Olo Proudburrow, the confused halfling rogue.
I am Kat, and I am playing RaQui MriTtyur, the very tired Aarakocra bard/warlock.
With one level of exhaustion from not sleeping at all.
Yep.
Jade.
Hi, I'm Jade. I'm playing Will Soul, cleric fire genasi, and it was not my fault at all. RaQui has exhaustion from providing coffee.
You're her supplier. And last but not least, Nate.
I'm Nate. I'm playing Errol, the Craggling fighter.
Okay.
No drama going on with me at all. None.
Sure, no, nothing at all. Last time our seekers went and did a job that Ola had picked up, helping find the lost child. Turned out he was in an alternate version of the city that is there only for tourists. There are two additional versions of the city, one for primordial and extraplanar beings, another one for folks of very large stature, from giants to dragons or everything in between. They followed the kid there, went on a gigantic bus where there's an escalator for normal folk to be able to get on the giant bus, and followed them into a factory that was seemingly manufacturing medicine. It's a pharmaceutical grade factory where the kid had followed his father, and his father was there making a deal with a familiar face, that of Sirius. RaQui, having noticed who the person in charge of the factory was, decided to tell everybody to book it. And so they did, returning to the Seekers Guild and reporting the presence of this factory, making the bold claim that it was a drug lab. Or such a bold claim will not have repercussions at all. Meanwhile, RaQui went to the hospital and had a conversation with Ticker, the leader of the guild, about Roderick and his current status, and they've both agreed to have him remain under a false name in the hospital, very much away from everybody else. Also, the significant others have arrived. Clara for Will and Corin for Errol. While Clara's reception at Will's place was gender, tender, and loving, Errol broke down in tears the moment he hugged his husband. Oh, and Will and RaQui had a very intense, very uncomfortable for RaQui, heart-to-heart, where some of RaQui's fears were exposed. But we move along now. We're gonna move the clock forward a few hours. Clara and Will, you have had your quote-unquote conjugal visit. And are now enjoying I'm guessing some of your good food.
Who's to say that wasn't included?
I assume it's always included, but this is the recovery meal.
Yes. Obviously.
Make it a chef's kid roll. Just to see how good this meal is.
I'm really half-assing it. So I don't think it's going to be that good. Oh, meh. We'll see, guys.
Intelligence and proficiency. Or dexterity and proficiency, I accept both.
$26. I rolled a 19.
It's spectacular. You're setting a standard of cookery for your girlfriend that you know you likely won't be able to live up to. At least not on a daily basis.
No. It's a welcome home meal, obviously. Like that's what that is.
Yeah, for certain. A floor below yours, and possibly across the hall, there's another couple who had a journey home that was a bit uncomfortable. Given that one of them, who recently arrived, knows something is up, but is waiting to be behind closed doors before anything else is discussed. You're now behind those closed doors. The door is locked. There's a click of the lock being put in place. Suitcase has been, put aside. Corin is sitting on the couch. You are facing him, and he sighs and gives you a look and just says, "Lay it on me." Now I'm gonna, because there's a lot. I'm not gonna ask you to recount every item in roleplay because we'll be here all night. As much as I would be delighted to witness that roleplay. Instead, we'll go this at a bullet point level. What do you divulge and what do you not say? And we'll go bit by bit. We'll go the deaths. Are those divulged?
Don't think that's where he starts.
I know, but as I said, we're gonna go what is said, what isn't. The order doesn't really matter that much.
Errol will tell Corin. I mean, Errol doesn't really count necessarily the first one. That was while he was a cop, and also I barely registered.
The ones,
the second
after
two.
the fact, because the other one you were dead for seconds, really.
Oh, the last one. Yeah, he will talk about it because that's when he found out he was on this list.
The Asmodean deal.
I think so, but I think he tells Corin with the utmost but it's fine because there was no way I was staying there, so that one's on me. I know what I need to do with it. That's the easier part of this whole mess.
The story, let's call it the story of Roderick. I mean, the whole thing. Friend,
finding out that he had a crush. Yeah, Errol isn't hiding anything. He's not, as far as Errol's concerned, he hasn't done anything. So yeah, he he tells Corin as well that the reason he tells Corin about Rotrick is that Corin knows how hard it is for Errol to trust anybody, and he really thought Rotrick was a friend.
So that includes the being yeeted of the tower.
Yeah, because that just happened yesterday. And that's why he's breaking down. So that's the kind of the starting point, I think. Rotrick is the starting point of all of that conversation, and then it all just comes out. He tells his husband everything. He's not.
There is one last item, and it's Errol's perhaps continuing doubts of whether he is in the right place and doing the right thing, or whatever the fuck he should be doing with his life. Just has been a consistent thing, I think, on Errol's mind for a while.
I mean, I think Errol doesn't frame it as I don't think I meant to be here, because it's not true. I think Errol says that he is it's not so much his purpose that is wavering, it's his reasoning. He's like, I don't know if I jumped into this without really knowing what it would mean. It was a feeling that I needed to be here, and I'm not sure I can trust those anymore.
Make an insight check for me, with advantage.
Oh, Errol. We know that this goes one extreme or the other. Well, it definitely two extremes, so the advantage helps. Would I have had my social load out? Probably. 26.
26. Corin listens. And he sounds aghast for some things. But along the way, he begins to be irritated. And then pissed off. And as you finish talking, there's just silence. And Corin is just looking at you and doesn't need to say anything, because you know that whatever is going on inside his head, the water is boiling. And you know that look means he's measuring what he's going to say. We're going to table some of that to the side just for a moment. The last bit, the whole jump into thing, I'm gonna put it aside for just a moment. Whatever that guy did, if you find him, just fuck him up. That's it's not your fault. You trusted a guy and he turned out to be a psycho. Fine. That happens to everybody. That's not your fault. That's nobody's fault. What the fuck didn't you tell me before about being on a fucking Asmodean deal that you died a couple of times. Why the fuck am I learning about that now? We had dozens of conversations, fucking hundreds of messages, and I'm finding about that right now? When I'm supposed to be here just to relax with you? Now I have to figure out how the fuck we deal with this? You're not a child, Errol. You need to tell me these things. I'm supposed to be your fucking partner.
What you have done?
I would have figured something out. There are hundreds of people I can contact. I have pull. I have some fucking pull. I can get shit done.
I don't doubt that. It was not.
Have you figured out what the deal is? What you need to do?
Yeah.
The details?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have a list of people that have already gone past their time on their own deals. I'm supposed to make sure that they end up where they're supposed to.
What does that mean? You have to kill him?
Potentially. I'm heading to the... keep making plans to go to the office here.
Okay, we're going now.
It's not something I haven't done before. You saw this.
We're going now. I don't care. We're going now. We're gonna grab our shit. We can go there and figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, okay.
And the other bit of the discussion, we're gonna leave for later. Because I have things to say. Do you go with Corin?
Yeah.
For the record, the walls are not thick. So anyone above, directly above or across from Errol, likely can you roll a perception check for me if they wish to do so. Though anyone with a passive perception higher than 15 likely would have gotten the entire fucking argument. Likely that means, Rookie, you got the thing on surround sound.
I couldn't hear it pass.
You're across the hall. There is no way you didn't hear that. Up to you, whoever you want to side with in this argument.
Although Errol's mulling around in his head what his husband thinks he was gonna do about anything when Errol was dead, because it's not like he planned to be dead and then he woke up without a choice. So he's kind of like, not sure what weight you were gonna throw around, but we deal with that when you come at me with your next thing. He's a little taken aback because he's never had Corin shout at him.
I mean, it is, I will say, in his defense, you just came out with, oh, by the way, along the way, I died like 2 times. I was thought nearly dead, you know? And then I went to hell and spoke to Asmodeus, and I'm in a deal now. I mean...
Okay, we bullet pointed. Errol wouldn't have bullet pointed quite like that.
For breaking it down, it's basically that. That's a whole, because again, you've been having calls and chats for months, and you have mentioned absolutely nothing.
Well, again, what was his husband meant to do? He's like, Errol was fine up until this point.
Can I tell you, man? You head to the nearest Asmodean law office.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately for you, in Cardis, they're like Starbucks.
Yeah.
They're pretty much one in every corner. You head, and there's it's at this time of day not that full. there's a bit of a queue, and just, essentially just wait, take a number and wait. You end up waiting there for about a good 10 minutes. And I'm just going to ask you, do you leave the uncomfortable silence hang?
No. I don't know. Look, I know I should have told you. It's just I was okay, and I wasn't. And also, you were struggling too. I wanted to know that you were okay.
You don't decide what I should and shouldn't know, Errol. I've told you everything that's been going on with me.
Didn't feel like I was hiding anything. This job is dangerous.
And I have no illusions about that.
The job was dangerous beforehand, but
Your number.
God, I didn't even feel like it had gotten like this big of a mountain until it was all coming out just now.
Your number is called. You're directed to a you're directed to a table, and it's at this moment that the other side there's no one, and you hear a voice in your, it's just like a whisper in your ear, says, "I'll be right there." And then suddenly the entire room goes cold. You see like the walls and windows get frosted over, and walking in, like hunching over, is an icy devil, almost like skeletal, but made of almost like pure ice. Very much like a xenomorph kind of thing, but it's just completely icy, almost like skeletal but lizard-like face in a business suit, and just gingerly sits down on the chair, and then realize you two are sitting in front of him, and he's just looming over you. It says, moment, and he shape changes into a normal human man with just stark white hair and blue eyes. And he goes, "Is this better?" The room is still completely frosted over.
Sure.
So, Mr. Emanesh, you wish to have a conversation. What can we help you with today?
I'd like to know the specifics of my current deal.
Okay, very well. And he just puts a hand under the desk and pulls out a gigantic contract. He goes, "If you give me a moment," and begins to almost like skim through it. "Oh yes, signed by the head office. Interesting.
Yep.
So from what I gather here, you've been provided with a means of identifying subjects on your list, a total of 20 names. These are individuals who have escaped the bounds of hell. They were already deceased and, paying their dues, as we all do when the time comes. They have found a way of finagling that and returning here. It is your duty to return them whence they came. You could, of course, take the initiative and I think the correct term is whack them. Or if you desire, we can basically opens his hand and produces like an iron rod. With it just appears in his hand when it materializes. Oh, you could use this to brand them, and we will send someone to collect them. Whichever suits your tender sensibilities more.
Take the brand, or I have both options.
Of course, as long as the names are returned, you are good.
I'll take the brand.
Well, and hands to you. The brand at the end has a sigil at the top, so basically it's what would be imprinted on them. You don't need to even contact skin. You just need to poke them. It does take a few seconds for the brand to become effective. And I do warn you that the moment the brand is inactive, one of our retrievers will materialize in that spot and take the person. So I will leave it to your discretion how public or private you want this affair to be.
Noted. Those are the options. 2 options. Whack them
Yes.
or call down a retriever
Yes.
that may be flashy.
Not flashy, definitely messy.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
If you are worrying, these are not, their bodies are their transfigured souls. Essentially their souls have been materialized. The moment you eliminate them, as bloody as it may be, the body will eventually dematerialize into its soul form. There will be no body left behind. Of course, any mess that gets splattered on walls likely will remain for a time before it also dissolves.
Do I get the details of what they did?
Is it relevant? They are due to be in hell.
Sometimes you can convince people to just do the right thing. Sometimes.
Are you certain that you can convince someone to end their own lives to return to hell willingly?
No. Not.
I can add the addendum to the contract to have them provide your ocular identification method with the details of their deeds, if that may assuage your potential guilt on the matter. Mind you,
No.
everybody goes to hell for a time. I'm sure you all know that. As far as I'm aware, it is part of theology, and for the pantheon, everybody goes to hell for a time to pay their dues. So even the best person will have items in their life where they will go to hell for a period. That period depends on them. Of course, the people who have escaped will have additional time added to them, as this is a big sin in a way.
Yeah, I don't need the addendum. It's fine.
Very well. 20 names on your list. Would you like to choose your retriever of choice, or are you fine with whoever comes along?
I don't personally know any retrievers to request.
We have a set of 3 retrievers who have been assigned to your case. Normally, one of them would appear. If you wish to work with a specific one, we can make that arrangement.
Sure.
He puts a finger to his ear and says,
Because Nate wants to know who they are.
please send the collectors for Yes, that contract. Yes, please. Above you, an infernal sigil manifests, and down from it descend 3 figures. The first one is a winged, clawed giant minotaur. Blood red fur, and it has a wicked, almost like spine bow hanging from their back. The second figure appears more human, dressed in loose garb, with a breastplate, and a full, like almost like a helmet, but it's only covers the front of the face, and it's almost like a visor that covers from the base of the nose straight up to the back of their head, and it has a bunch of runes on it, and is carrying 2 tachi, so 2 quote unquote Japanese style blades. And the last one is a being made of pure obsidian. It's just an arrangement of onyx, of just jet black gems that shift in place, and it has a flame-like crown over his head. Please choose whoever you wish to help you.
I just wanted to know. Nate wanted to know. Now I have a choice. I hate that.
If you don't want to choose, just don't choose. It's just, if you wish to, you can.
Any of you particularly more discreet than the others?
They don't
I
respond.
ask, like they might
don't respond
to me.
They don't respond. The Minotaur being chuckles.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with the Minotaur. It chuckled at me.
Very well.
Why not? I feel like none of them are going to be any less messy than the others.
Very well. You have chosen Rabeleth the Flayer as your retriever of choice. Very well. Though I will admit, I do have to warn you, the retriever in particular is the head of the department for retrieving, so there may be situations where they are not available, in which case one of these 2 will take the job instead. But your preference has been noted.
Get it, Rav.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, actually, I have one question about this brand.
Yes.
Does it only work on the people on the list?
Yes.
Good.
It wouldn't do for us to give you something that can consign someone to hell.
Exactly. Yes.
That's not the kind of business we operate here, sir.
Double checking. Okay. So the particulars are just bot.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Okay. 20 names and then done.
Sure. I'm fairly certain head office at the conclusion of the deal would likely offer you a continuation on a case-by-case basis with suitable rewards, not in a debt kind of way, more on independent contracting.
Yeah.
It's how these head office deals tend to go. You can consider them auditions, talent scouting. Our dear head of the department here started this way. Don't we know that, Jade?
Is there a way to access contracts that we're taking out on you?
No, unfortunately not. You would need permission from, head office from Asmodai himself. You need his permission to be able to acquire. The only contracts you can acquire are the ones you have signed. If someone has signed a contract that involves you, unless you have permission from head office or from or you have a written statement, a notarized statement from the person who signed the contract, they are sealed.
Okay, I figured as much. Worth asking. I think that's everything unless looks at Corin. Any other questions?
Quiet. He's not saying a single thing. He's just taking it all in.
All right, thank you. Then he'll hold his hand out.
The brother says a moment and puts on a pair of gloves and then shakes your hand. And even through the gloves, you feel the chill, the cold touch. If you hadn't put on the gloves, you would have taken damage.
Thank you.
At your service. Have a pleasant day.
Okay. Head out, I guess.
Yep. Heading home. Meanwhile, while this is happening, what's going on with the rest of you? Will, make me a perception check, please. With the DC at 15.
I rolled 15, 22.
22. I would say while you are cooking with all the noises in the kitchen and everything and chatting to Clara, the moment you start plating the food, you did hear at least parts of the argument going on downstairs. So just so you're not left out.
Oh, I had a passive perception of 17, so you said above.
I know.
Anyway,
that was more for Ricky, who was right below.
Okay.
And you were, we had established you were in the middle of cooking food and everything. So
yeah, no, that's fine.
So yeah, that Clara is like, is there something I should know? She looks amused as hell.
Mm.
So we're staying away from that. Not even.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so okay, I'll say it. I'm off the army. Dishonorable discharge. Just like my dad and my grandfather. It's a family tradition to get drummed out.
I was just about to say
they were
tradition.
hoping I wouldn't. I was doing really well, but it's in the blood. It's in the family. No army can tolerate us. Though it does mean I lost a bet with my brothers. They were sure. Dad was sure I was gonna make it at least to a higher rank. My brothers were counting the days till I got kicked out. It's that kind of family.
So they, I guess, closest to when you were gonna get kicked out, or did they have the exact date?
No, not exact date. That's a bit. I mean, if any of them got the exact date, I'd be impressed. No. Just as they were down the range to like the months. In 3 months, 6 months. It was my youngest brother who got it. He got it the exact month. Yeah. I will say it did surprise him that how and why, but you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Your girlfriend asks you to look into a shady corporation that might have taken her mother. You go and you kill anybody you have to get it. Speaking
That-
of,
It reminds me.
Yeah.
I need to introduce you to RaQui.
I think I've met RaQui, haven't I?
Yes, but we need her help.
Okay. I was gonna say we also need, we actually need help in general. We might, anyone who can get us gear. That means, modules, weapons, etc. That we can count on, because I'm all for storming your grandfather's company. I know where the location is. We can hit it, but that's gonna be a fight. That's not gonna go easy.
Hmm.
So, as much as I know you want to get your mom, we'll have to prepare for this properly.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that. I think RaQui might be useful for that.
Okay. I mean, I'm here, but I got nothing to do really. I do have to look for a job now, but that's another matter entirely.
Want to join the Seekers?
I mean, I present to you a new turning point. Does Clara? Right now, she's not even considered it, and there are different options for her. Someone of her talents. There are many, let's call it security companies in Cardis, who would more or less kill the competition to get her. And you don't know this, but there are already offers on the way that will be arriving at your doorstep completely out of the blue. But I leave it to you. Does she follow you into the Seekers Guild? Or does she go for a, let's call it, more lucrative private opportunity?
I mean, I think she should join the Seekers Guild. I don't think she should follow me. I think she should
You know what I mean.
I know. But yes, 100%. I think she should join the Seekers Guild because I think she'd be a fucking badass.
And likely cost the Seekers millions in lawsuits, but
Yes,
that's another thing entirely.
I didn't say that.
Very well. So, I mean, how do you join?
Let's just go down there.
You want to? So, do we talk to RaQui first, or do that first?
We'll bring RaQui with us.
Okay. Sure. Let's do that. Let's go talk to RaQui then.
I'm gonna put some clothes on first. I'm gonna
I mean, sure, as one does before heading out.
I thought I'd say it just in case you questioned me, okay?
I would never.
Not that type of game, Jade. So, yes, we are going to knock on RaQui's door.
Yeah, this happened. I would say before when you're ready to head out, you hear the door open and close across the. No, actually, no. That's RaQui's floor. So this would be. It's been under you that is Errol and and Corin, who have, by this moment, have just left the flat for this moment thing. So
yeah, they're not meeting yet.
Yeah, you RaQui, there's a knock on your door. And we all know how much you love those.
It doesn't matter because RaQui's not there.
Where is RaQui?
So, listening to that argument and the residual feeling that RaQui already has around Errol at the moment, she's now super uncomfortable. So she has taken the shortcut and flown out of the window, and headed to her car. I'm going to see my dad.
In which case, oh, I love this. We're gonna turn the clock back a bit. And Errol, I need you to make a perception check for me. You're muted.
Wasted, but natural 20.
Oh god.
I would say, and
Of all
RaQui, I think
things.
your passive perception is enough. You're getting ready to head out. You get your shit. You go out the window and heading down to your car. And the moment you get in, you turn, and Corin and Errol are coming out of the building, pretty much walking towards the street, pretty much like straight at you. Errol, you clock this. You see that RaQui's in the car and has just realized that you're there. Does RaQui just peel off?
She is gonna look the other way and drive off.
Basically goes like and drive
Basically.
away.
Oh shit, drive, quick. Pretend he didn't
Just-
see me.
Does the car do that thing where it like wiggles as it goes?
Pretty much. And it goes
Yeah.
It's a foot down.
up above as soon as it can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Corin is like, okay, that was weird. Anyway, let's go. And then you do
Well,
your little
it's not the story.
adventure. You do your little adventure in the Asmodean office. Although, what number of bowls of popcorn are you into right now?
Olo apparently can't hear past his own heartbeat because I rolled a 2 on
No, I would
perception.
say with your passive perception of 10, you're directly across. There is no hiding this argument from you.
Okay, I'm gonna go against my better judgment, I think, and I'm gonna try to ignore it. So I'm gonna be blowing on down my flute as loud as I can to drown out the shouting.
Eventually, the shouting stops, and you hear the door across the hall open and lock. Apparently, they're gone out, or someone's killed the other. That's what your guesses. Eventually, though, the doors open and lock again. So eventually, they have returned. Is there anything Olo is planning on doing?
Not talking to them at all today.
That seems like a good plan.
Yeah. No, he's got no plans for today. He's got some bar training he wants to do, so he's just going to crack on training trying to keep himself busy so he doesn't think about family issues.
Fair enough. Will and Clara, you knock on RaQui's door and no response. And you knock as many times as you want and there's no response.
It'll get to the point where like she knows RaQui would normally get annoyed and open the door. And then she'll be
I was
like,
like,
right, okay.
Are we worried about her? I can kick in the door.
A little bit worried, but no, I don't think she's actually in.
Okay.
And I think she would probably kill me if we kicked down the door. Because I could probably smash it in as well myself, so.
No, I'm sure it can. It's just,
I know. Then let's just go to Seeker's Guild then and do some asking.
You head over to the Seekers Guild with Clara. Errol and Corin are back in the apartment. And Corin once again sits down on that sofa and is waiting for you to sit down as well.
Water for both of us. I'll sit down next to him.
He looks at the water and says no, and he goes to his carry-on, opens it, pulls out a mini bar version of a bottle of vodka, tops it and drinks it down, puts it away, and says, "Okay, this is the bit I wanted to talk now." You say that again. You're worried, worried what you chose this. You weren't sure. You weren't really prepared or ready or informed. Curiosity, we spend a whole period of our lives with you being a cop feeling the exact same way. And now it's been, what, 6, 8 months, and you're telling me it's the same crap?
It's not. It's not the same.
Errol, you fucking upended our lives.
It's not.
Whatever our plans were completely out the window. The woman said, "Oh, I'm going to go away for a bunch of months because this is the right thing to do."
Does feel like the right thing to do. It's not that I don't feel like this is the correct. How do I explain this? It's my.
I swear to God, Errol, if you say destiny, I'll slap the shit out of you.
No. No. I'm not questioning where I am or what I believe or even that this is the right choice because I've my friends and I have been the head of a lot of bullshit, okay? And I don't know that would have resolved without us, or at least not as quickly. I'm just questioning my faith. That has nothing to do with anything else. That's purely I'm just questioning what I did for all this bullshit to be chasing me. I'm none the wiser for 8 months later. It's not you or the job or the choices that I've made that I know of. There's something there's something chasing me, Corin, or someone that wants me dead. And I don't know who that is or why.
Corin, from the moment you said I'm questioning my faith and went on from there, the expression changed. And it is, you can only, you can't read it very well. But when you're done going through this, he just looks at you. He goes, "What a complete bunch of stupid bullshit. Fucking waste." And then you see, he kind of, his eyes go wide. Like he just realized what he said. And he goes, fumbles in his shirt, in his jacket, and pulls out a little remote, pushes it, and casts with it give the gab, and erases your memory from having said that, and replaces it with, "I don't get it, but I'm here to support you." If the gap does not have a saving throw, just erase the last few seconds of what you said and replace it with something else.
No, it just probably sounds ridiculous, and I get that. It's not even. It's just really hard to explain.
And tell me this. Will you at any point come home? Or should we or do I need to start making plans for moving here?
I mean, this is where I'm stationed right now.
Is this permanent?
No. But I don't know when I get to pick my own station. I know that I have to be a higher rank than I am now.
And haven't you thought about asking? I mean,
Yeah,
Errol, fuck's sakes, you can ask.
I did ask. No, I did ask. I just don't have my notebook. That was one of the first things Errol asked about back when we were still on the boat submarine. Fucking the island under the sea. I just don't have my notes. I did ask, and I'm pretty sure they said you have to earn that.
No, what they said is at the end of your training, you would be able to choose where you go as a basis. You are still in training.
Yeah. Yeah. I technically still training, so I'm here until I'm not.
Okay, when does your training end? How do they measure training ending? You have to do a written test, jump through a couple of fiery hoops, dance tango while on your head. What?
You get that information at the same time.
None of you ever asked what it entailed to not be in training, to complete the training.
I guess Errol just assumed it was a rank thing. We're supposed to be being watched. I know there's an evaluation, but I don't know when that happens. I can find out though, if you want solid dates.
I would like some solid information because again, we've kind of put a giant pause button on all our plans.
I know.
I need to know if those plans are going to ever resume or what the hell.
I would like them to. I want them to. I realize I ran into this. I didn't ask enough questions to be able to give you those solid answers. And I'm sorry. But I can do that.
And please get those answers because I need to know.
I didn't imagine uprooting, being away from you this long.
Yeah.
This wasn't what I had planned for us.
Oh, definitely not what I had planned. But that's the situation we're now in. So we need to figure out what the next step is.
Well, Look, I know this isn't the most ideal start to your visit. That's an understatement. But I am definitely not on the clock, and I am not planning to be or scheduled to be back on the clock for duration of your stay. So
That's fine. I need a little time to think some things. Your mom sent some things for you. I've left them on the bed. I'm just gonna go out for a quick walk. And Corin just leaves immediately.
Raul's gonna go to look at what his mum sent across, but he messages Ricky, and he's like, I don't know what I've done to upset you whilst everybody's covering all their bases today. Appreciate it if you just tell me how to fix it.
Is there a response from RaQui, or does RaQui see the message and temporarily ignore it?
Temporarily ignore it.
Yeah. That is definitely a choice. Does Errol check the contents of what was sent? The box are a bunch of old photos. There are some old photos taken, long time ago. Not photos taken from like a phone, more like photo booths or arcades, that kind of shit. It's you and your friends. The tumultuous times. There is an old, essentially, I would say a set of recordings. Takes you a moment because you see the name on them, and there is a set of dates, and one of them just says Volume 1. And it takes you a moment to think of what the fuck was Volume 1, and it takes you a bit to remember, because again, there are a lot of things about that period of time that are fucking fuzzy for you.
Shit.
Are just you don't remember properly. A haze would be the correct term. And you remember that at some point, one of you, I don't know who it was, but got the idea we should do like a vlog thing. Just record us ourselves going out, doing shit in the city. And it's those videos.
Cringe.
Yeah. And the last thing you find, it's weird, it's a journal. Or it looks like a journal. So it's a notebook. But it looks much older than anything you would have.
Fine. Flip through it.
There isn't a name attached to it, but when you open it, what you find is poetry. Really good poetry. Very heartfelt, very emotional poetry, very sensitive. Also, when the journal actually begins, like you see entries of a journal type variety. You don't see name. It's from about like 50, 60 years ago. And there, from whoever wrote them, it kind of reflects, you would guess why someone who didn't catch the date and just saw like the content of a page would have thought it may have been you, because there's a lot of angst towards parents and a bad relationship and what they felt was being forced to do certain things, like going against their will. And I'll ask, will Errol continue to read this journal, or, stop here and do something else?
Well, I think he's sort of intrigued. He'll read some more of the poetry and see if he can find anything that says
Make an investigation check for me.
Investigation. Not spectacular.
And also, depending on your result, I'll ask you to roll something else.
17.
Make me an insight check.
22.
22. With the investigation of 17, you realize this journal goes on for a long time. Like, the pages don't end. It is, you kind of see like chronicles ages from like 17 to about 25. It's a long while. Not every month and day is covered. There are sometimes gaps. And it describes someone who was, like a budding artist, had received some publication with the poetry. There are some pages that list some poems that were made into publication. It says like the name of the magazine where or the medium where they were published. There are some elements of some family business that they didn't want to have anything to do with, but father insisted. There were talks of relationships and obligations that they had to take on, and just a reticence to go ahead with it. But again, father insisted. By the end, some of the text plus the 22 inside. This is your grandfather's journal, and from what you gather from both with the 22, from both the poetry and the entries and the way he describes things, you're not certain, but you could. He's mentioned relationships and engagements of every kind, both intimate and let's say romantic and physical. And there is, from the 22, you notice like a detachment, essentially you realize this person likely was asexual, likely a romantic as well. They had their passions, but were completely separate from other people. But from the contents of the journal, you get the feeling that whatever they had wanted in their lives, likely their own parents didn't give them a choice. In fact, the last few entries are, in terms of tone and even the words used, there's very little emotion there.
He was the one who I saw who wanted to make sure that the magic continued on in Offspring.
Yeah. You see, for the entire journal, there isn't a single mention of any of that stuff. The last entry is very cold, very statement like of a date has been set. We're set to marry. That's it. That's the only thing that's written.
I wasn't really sure what to make of that. It kind of feels sad, but he knows now what that man did to his mum, so he's kind of like, perpetuating generational trauma doesn't, being a victim doesn't excuse becoming the aggressor. He sets the journal on like his bedside. He'll pop it in his like drawer. Yeah. I once watched the cringe video.
You sort of watch it?
Yeah, let's put it on.
I will tell you for the most part, you don't remember a thing this ever happening.
This is just nonsense that's going on screen.
There's a complete disconnect. And also I think for Errol watching that kid version of himself, because when you pick it up, those videos were a bit before you all started on the super fun slide of fairy dust.
Yeah.
The videos are stupid kid stuff. Like Jackass for teens. And you're all being very edgy. But it's you can see past it in like a great relationship between friends. There are two entries in the vlog that do strike a chord with you. In that they spark memories. In that you see a glimpse of something that then in your mind becomes the full picture. The first one is that you see two of your friends coming with a flyer for a party. And that sparks you the memory. That's where you had the first chat as a group about fairy dust. And the second one is one where it's a few days later. And it's you all talking about how you're going to meet with someone. And one of them says like, Errol, are we good? And says, yeah, don't worry. I got it covered. And that sparks the memory of that's when you went and met the dealer and where you bought the first hit for all your friends. And wouldn't be the first hit that you bought. It wouldn't be the last. As among your friends, the one with the most means of acquisition was you. And that one, I'll leave to you to decide how it impacts Errol. Because you had the certainty that it was your other two friends who introduced the group to the thing. You didn't quite remember that it was you who actually did most of the purchases.
It wasn't my idea, but it was the one who followed through on it, I guess. Yeah. Add it to the survivor's guilt pile. It just solidifies his sort of it just brings up some of the things he'd worked through, like the survivor's guilt and feeling like it should have been him and not them. And that took a long while to unpick. And it kind of sparks that again. And he's like, nope. Where lies ruin.
Let's have you make a charisma save.
Oh. Sure. So, 16. No. Yeah, 16.
For a moment, you almost get drowned in those feelings in that moment, but at the there's enough going on in your life right now, and you latch onto your what you learned in your therapy a long time ago, the tools that you were given to help you reconcile the past and not become stuck in it, and you kind of claw yourself back to the surface again and push that thought away. Though, the realization of something that had been perhaps buried in your memory for a long time, because up until you saw the video, this episode was just buried in the haze. No longer. Now it's a sharp memory that you can see in, when you're at your lowest now. But you push it aside or away enough to not be overwhelmed by it.
You. Oh. You're okay. What happened for a reason. You're okay. He puts things back in box under bed. Starts making dinner because he needs to do something with his hands.
Oh. RaQui, it's the honey pot, and it's open, and it's delightful as ever.
Before I go in, I'm just gonna fire a message over to Ticker, and just be like, how's our friend today?
Says, hey Doc, still recovering, still on the mend. Started physio today. Looks promising, but is using a walker to get around.
I'll just reply and go, okay, thanks for the update. Kind of figured it would be a bit of a longer recovery, but at least he's got some mobility already.
Bryce, well, they do wonders in this place. A bit of magic tech and everything. Physio with recovery stuff on top, so it is a bit accelerated, but it's still going to take a few days, I think, or who knows how long. I am already making some plans, likely have him transferred to somewhere else, because I don't think Cardis is the right place for him right now. Don't worry, I'll let you have a chat with him before he goes.
Amazing, thank you. Just keep me posted with dates, and I'll make sure I come over before the transfer's done.
Yeah, can I leave it in your hands to keep Errol away from this?
Has his patient name been changed?
It's been changed, but just in case someone comes looking, just in case.
It's being kept under wraps, but I'll try to keep him away from it until he gets transferred.
Good. Talk to you later.
And then I head into the honeypot.
You head into the honeypot, and the client. The music is a bit louder than usual. Make an insight check for me.
No, this is gonna be awful.
Actually, what's your passive insight?
My passive insight is 16.
16. It will be enough for you to notice that the clientele is happy. The staff is nervous. The staff is very tense. They're going about their business, but there is a tension in the air. You don't see your dad. He's usually behind the bar, flinging drinks and taking some of the orders, but no, you don't see him.
Do I notice a spare seat at the bar?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of spare seats. There's another bartender there, just flinging drinks, but on him you notice the tension a lot more.
I am just gonna go and quietly take a seat at the bar.
He comes around and says, "Well, hello there. Welcome to the honeypot." And then he looks at you and says, "Oh, you're the boss's kid, right?"
I am Quaff's daughter, indeed. Is he around?
You should go. Back there. He opens the bar, like the flap on the bar. Just head to the kitchen. There's something going on there. None of us wanted to say anything, but maybe he needs someone else in there.
Sure. Can I grab a drink to take with me?
He pours you whatever you want and gives it to you.
Yeah, some form of something very strongly caffeinated.
It's right there. It's as strongly caffeinated and as strongly alcoholic as you may want.
No alcohol, just the caffeine. I need the energy. And then I take it with me and head into the kitchen.
Inside, you see that the kitchen staff is working on the periphery of the kitchen, like taking a corner for whatever they need to do. The middle of it is a fucking standoff between your dad, who is looking, just his body language is pure tension and rage. On the other side, there sitting, sipping a drink, is your aunt.
Oh, fuck my life.
She looks delighted. Like this is, she's having a wonderful time in the city. He's like, "Oh, honey, I don't know why you're so upset. Oh, look who's here. Hey, hi, sweetie." Your dad turns and looks at you, and his eyes go wide. Make that inside roll for me, please.
Oh, God. With my disadvantage, I rolled a 2.
Your dad looks a bit flustered, but you don't read anything more than that.
I am not going to acknowledge my aunt. Instead, I'm gonna greet my dad first.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, "Hi, Dad. Bad time?"
Very bad. It'll be fixed though if this bitch gets out of my establishment. Oh, there's no need for that kind of language, honey. I'm just here for a visit, a drink. You have a bar. I came to see it. It's lovely. We reserve the right to serve certain people. You're not those. Get the hell out. At this, your aunt just narrows her eyes, and you see all the plant life in the kitchen dies. I'm not liking your tone. What's RaQui doing?
God. Oh, this is gonna go horribly wrong. She's just gonna turn to her aunt now and be like, "Hello again.
Hi, RaQui.
I was really kind of hoping to spend some time with my dad, who I don't think really wants you here. I don't really have a lot of time to spare, so really appreciate it if you'd kindly do as he asks and leave."
I really don't understand why you're all so like this. I'm just here for a visit, for some quality time with family and friends and loved ones. Anyway, I'll take my leave then. I'll be around some other time. And she stands up and walks straight towards her dad, who clenches everything he can clench. And she just like caresses the side of his face. Says, "If only you appreciated me a bit more." And leaves after that. Once she's gone, the entire kitchen staff audibly sighs and relaxes.
God.
Like the environment, the entire place changes. And not just because of your dad. Your dad is that just when she finally exits the building, your dad kind of puts both hands on the table and is breathing heavily, almost like panting. And just
I'm gonna pass him my drink because I think right now he needs it more than I do.
He looks at it, takes a sniff, and says, no. The last thing I need is caffeine. I could use a stiff drink though, but thanks for the kiddo. No, sorry, I'm having trouble. Just something about her just makes my skin crawl.
RaQui's just gonna look at the closest person in the kitchen and be like, "Excuse me, you. Sorry, I don't know your name. Can you get him a stiff drink, please?"
We'll do. Well, right, boss. The usual boss. He just waves a hand, and they bring him back a drink. Essentially, it's everything else honey based. So,
Yeah.
they bring him the stiffest drink they can, and he takes it down and says, "That's a bit better." Well, not really, but sorry, you're here. Sorry, honey, you had to see that. That was bad. I need to talk to some people, see a way if we can bar her entry, physically, magically, legally. I mean, if I can turn her into a fried chicken the moment she steps inside, even better. But I'm not gonna go that way. Sorry. Hi, honey. And he turns and hugs you. He's trembling.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, so That's her.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. She's fun.
Not the word I'd use, Ricky, but
Yep, I didn't mean it in any nice kind of way.
yeah, you know, when I met your mom and her, it wasn't like this. She was not. There was always something off about her. But she wasn't a bad person. She was maybe a bit clingy. But after after your mom and I got together, some fucking switch flipped and it got bad. And but I don't know, just right now, just being in the same room with her, just a part of me just wanted to just scream and run for the hills. I have no way of explaining it.
It's funny you say that because I went to visit Mum and
Okay.
she was there.
Is your mom okay?
Yes and no. It's really hard to explain. Anyway, a friend, colleague, he came with me and he seemed exactly the same way that you just described.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't. It's really odd. I do not trust her. I still don't know what's going on. I'm still trying to piece it all together. I was kind of just coming to you really not to talk about that specifically, but just to get away and chat about anything. But I guess whilst I'm here, there's definitely a lot more to this. Did you ever meet my granddad?
Sure. I met him when, all through, let's call it the courtship. When your mom and I got together, he was there. He died a couple of years before you were born. He always, from what your mom once told me, he had a bad ticker and, eventually just gave out.
Mum never said anything else about him.
Not really. I mean, there were a couple of comments she once made about, when I met him, he was, a gentleman, very upfront guy, very direct, kind of old school, very direct, but not malicious. He was very warm towards your mom. When we were around, he was a bit strict with your aunt, but then your aunt was a bit, the very in a ways introverted. So, sometimes parents, think they have to put up, be a bit more stern to, get the kids to open up or something. I don't know. It was never the case with us, so I don't have the experience. But now thinking about it in hindsight, he was a bit more warm towards your mom than her. But he was never, what I say he was strict, but he wasn't cruel. He was not like just treated badly, just, so, someone calling out some of your bad habits and, trying to remind you to correct them and, that sort of thing. It kind of bit of, loving disciplinarian, that sort of thing,
Okay.
Your grandmother, though, she died giving birth to the twins, so I never met her.
Hmm. When you say that she was a bit odd when you first met her and Mum, do you mean kind of odd like me?
I mean, how would you say odd like you, honey? You're not odd. I mean, we're all weird. Well, your mom's a bit weird now. No, she wasn't. I mean, I've already told you this. No, your aunt has always been a bit jittery. And I always thought that she needed, to be diagnosed with something, that she needed to, have a real, psychiatric or, psychological, so just someone profile her because, spoke to herself a lot, sometimes seemed to be talking to something that wasn't there. Very jittery, very nervous. Also, I don't know. I'm gonna put this. Not eager to please, but yeah, it was like kind of fucking needy, clingy. It was, how I got it because it's the kind of thing where every compliment I had to be careful what I said because she would take it in, let's call it a level of intensity that I wasn't referring to, like she very, I don't want to sound unfair, but kind of, let's just say if I complimented her, she would think that I was way more into her than I actually was.
She really liked you.
She did. I knew that, but I mean, your mom. Just that's the only thing I can say.
Hmm. I get the impression she's staying with Mum, so I don't think she's going to be going anywhere anytime soon, and I don't trust her. I don't know what she wants with Mum. I don't know what she's doing there, but I can tell you it's not good. Mum's kind.
I had to ask this because I know it would put you either in danger. I hate that, but do you think you and your friends could get your mom out? She can keep the farm. I don't care, but can we get your mom out of there?
Mum is safe for now. I wouldn't have left her behind if I didn't know that she was. But it is my absolute intention to figure out what the hell this lady's deal is and to get her the hell away from us because she is bad news. I've had 2 interactions with her, one of which you've just seen, and yeah, she is bad news.
She came here wanting to reconnect with me. Yeah, no. Just no.
She's not going to go away. At least I don't think she's going to go away. So if you're going to look at ways to keep her out of here, I would do it soon.
I'll make some calls. I have a couple of friends that can take care of that. Worst case, I know a lawyer who can get me a good deal on one of those Asmodean offices. That for certain will keep her out. Divine will and all that.
Just remember, you should know. Check the fine print. Make
Always,
sure you're happy.
always. And usually, from what I've heard, from reviews and everything, even the fine print is explained to you. Like the business, they're somehow, doing deals with the Lord of the Nine Hells is very straightforward.
Well, there's enough people around here that do it. I'd hope to think they've got it down by now.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we do here in Cardis. We make deals. Sometimes for trade, sometimes for whatever the hell they take for payment.
Yeah. Just don't trust her. As soon as I can tell you more and know that you'll be safe, I will, but I don't know what her deal is right now. But yeah. That wasn't why I came to see you though. I wanted to ask for some advice.
Wow, that's an unusual one, but I've been waiting the entire time you've been alive for that one, so hit me.
Have you ever unintentionally hurt a friend?
Many times. It happens.
How do you deal with it?
You acknowledge what you did. You go to your friend, you have a frank conversation, and you both deal with it. It'll become a point where you have to figure out, is this a point of no return for us? Is this a point where, what has been done cannot be forgiven, in which case you both move on with your lives? Or can this be mended and you'll figure it out? It's the kind of thing where you have to deal with it. You just have to. The longer you put it off, the worse it gets.
What happens if you know that conversation potentially could hurt them even more?
You still got to have it. If you're hurting a friend, they deserve to know.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hang around for a little bit and just grab another drink and just do some of my notes, if that's all right.
That's perfectly fine. I'll set you up at a table, have them bring you some food.
Awesome, thanks, Dad.
And you go and sit down, and now that she's gone, all the staff are very relaxed now, and it's that very nice, jovial environment you have felt in the past every time you've come to this establishment. Meanwhile, we go to the Seeker's office. The guild is open to you, and you walk in with Clara, who is right now just looking at the board where all the different ranks are. And she's like, oh, cool. And Sother, the drow lady, reception goes, Will, hello. Welcome. Are you taking any job from the board? Something I need to jot down?
I have a potential new recruit. And she'll also kind of go to Clara and be like, I challenge you to be at the top of that board.
I think I can pull it off.
I think you can too.
So there's okay, perfect. Let me just grab Ticker. Better he have this conversation with you all. And she makes a call, and Ticker just walks down the hall. As always, just his Hawkeye Kakra just wings folded, wearing essentially like workers' overalls. Comes in and says, "Oh, Will and Clara goes, Clara, cool. Why don't you go both come with me and we can have a chat?"
Sure.
So you both go into Ticker's office. It says, "So you are interested in joining the guild? Do you have any experience in any other sort we kind of do?" And Clara goes and does the full debriefing, what she can say of her military endeavors.
Will just kind of leans back, just like listening the whole time, like, yeah. Very, very proud and very smug.
Oh man. He goes and when she's talking, she for a moment narrows his eyes and says, "You said your surname is Lapan." A moment, and he goes on the computer, just looks it up and says, "Oh, right." Let me preface this that I know your family and I know you now. Now that I know the exploits. It would be an honor for us to have you as a seeker. I do have to point out that for the most part, we do not like blowing things up because that is problematic. Can you work within those bounds? Unless it's required that you blow things up. She narrows her own eyes, going like, "Okay, I can."
It's not a no. It's not a no about explosions.
I can commit to that. So perfect. Sign. He pulls out a form. Sign this, and now fill this out, and we'll get you started. Fortunately for you, you already have significant military training, so we're going to skip over most of the combat training and just have you do a couple of courses on what seeker work actually is, the methods and processes we use, and then we'll likely get you out on the streets as a trainee, or as we call it, stone level. You'll be a pebble along with good old Will here. As long as the moment you upgrade to copper rank, you'll be a full-fledged seeker and be able to choose your main office. Though you may be called upon, the higher your rank gets, you may be called upon for work across the world, really. Our skills are often in high demand, and people call for people. So I'll leave you to it. She fills it all out, turns it in, and Clara will be a seeker. I
will also point out that she'll be staying with me during this time.
Okay. Take her, it's in her address. She puts her address as yours, which I'm going to guess you already agreed on. No problem. But in terms of for us, by the next game we play, she will be an active seeker at your level. Which brings us... Turn off my camera and on again because it went blurry. There we go. Which brings us to... Errol, you have made in. Corin returns. You have a lovely dinner. There is still some tension in the air. But that's likely something you'll have to deal with until you can, talk a bit more and resolve some things. How is Errol feeling at the moment?
Pretty.
Hmm?
Pretty. Apprehensive. He's not sure. He's just like not really sure what he's supposed to do now to fix anything. He figures kind of has to just move forward.
Fair enough. The night goes by and let's just say it's uneventful. Clara and Will, you return home, and unless you wish to do anything in particular, RaQui, you also eventually return home. It is the evening. What do you all wish to do? Or should we move our clock forward?
I think Clara and Will are probably going to be spending a lot of time together. So I'm up for moving the clock forward unless you want a lot of black screens.
RaQui is just going to be crashing because she is exhausted.
Olo's
just being solitary because he doesn't want to go outside and get stabbed, and he don't want to get involved in any of the relationship drama going with the others.
and Errol and Corin have a quiet evening. Next day comes. Errol, you have your routine. Do you drag Corin to run with you?
No. He still wakes up early because what he do. She'll make breakfast and shower and make breakfast and kind of just wait for Corin to wake up. I mean, he'll take breakfast upstairs. Upstairs. I'm in a flat. He takes breakfast into the bedroom to kind of give him the option.
Corin, after breakfast and everything, he just, okay. There's shit we need to resolve. That's going to take some time. And frankly, more than we have right now. So I propose, let's table that for now. Let's just enjoy our time together, what limited we have. And we figure the rest out when we have some more time. Preferably when you're back home.
Yeah.
Let's do that then. Corin sighs. He goes, okay, so where do you want to go? I'm in your city. It's your turn to razzle and dazzle me.
Well, I figure we can explore. There's a couple of museums that I thought were cool. And later, if you are up for it, there's a karaoke bar that I have been in that is kind of fun if you're willing to sing in front of people.
With sufficient alcohol, I can do anything. And he gives you a look, and I mean anything.
Yeah, Errol's thinking about like the museum that they passed through because it's huge and it has lots of things. And
Hey, where your job is a city-sized entertainment district. So there's lots to do.
but he also would like to just take him on a walk through, like, because Errol, when he runs in the morning, will like have explored around. And he likes to run in like naturey parts. So
I mean,
he'll take Corin on like a walk through.
there are a couple of small parks where in the district you are in, it is an academic district, so there's places for people to come in and crash and get together to study on a park. There is also a completely different district that is just nature parks and reserves and that sort of stuff. So the good thing is you have several cities worth of experiences to take up your time while you work, while Corin is there. I am going to ask a question of the rest, though. On this day or any of the days that follow, any of you knock on Errol's door?
RaQui does not at this stage. However, she is now going to reply to Errol's message.
Okay. What is the reply?
I believe you have enough issues to contend with at the moment.
Okay. I'm sure that will make him feel better.
You get like 5 really grumpy faced emojis. No other response, just 5 really grumpy faced emojis.
Is there anything else that RaQui wishes to do?
No, I mean, she's just gonna spend her time between flitting through the stuff that she already has and dependent on how much time passes, going back to my family's storage locker.
Okay. Of the stuff you already have, you have read through what you found was more or less your aunt's journal. You still have a few. You have one that you know is from your grandfather, and another one that you are not sure what it is. Sorry, 2 from your grandfather. One like before and after the girls were born. So 2 of them.
I want to focus this time on the one from after they were born.
Okay. Before I make you roll for that, will knock on RaQui's door at any point during this, or has that plan changed?
She will do, but not before. She knocks on Errol's door and Corin's door and invites them over for dinner.
There is a knock on your door, Errol, early in the morning before you are all able to head out.
Hi, Will.
Hi, Clara's going to be there with me. I was inviting.
Hi, Clara.
I thought I'd invite you and Corin, because I know he's in there, over for dinner at some point before he leaves. Doesn't have to be tonight.
Sure. Well, we have some plans, so can I get back to you? Because you're on call still, right?
Mm-hmm. We both are.
Okay, bar. Interesting. Clara, welcome to the Seekers?
I've been told not to blow things up, and I'll try. That's the only best thing I can give him.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if it's rule number 1. I feel like it's rule number 3.
We'll see.
They sending you away?
No.
The fuck?
I mean, I
think it's
do
present.
have nearly 10 years of military training, so they just said so they're going to stick me in a few classes about what secret work really is, and then I think I'll be left in her custody.
Oh, okay. Will's your okay. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I'm really not sure.
Or I'll be in her custody. It depends on how the evening turns out.
Okay.
You see, Clara makes a face like, plans.
Harold like looks around for Corin like
Corin is not in the room.
we have plans for today, but I'll let you know if we get back tonight, or you let me know.
As I said, not tonight. Before he leaves.
Before you just want to feed my husband. Okay.
Yes.
So that evening will go perfect.
I'm gonna try and make it.
It's fine. Okay. All right. If you see RaQui, in fact, when you see RaQui, because it's only me that she's avoiding, can you just give her a grumpy face for me?
Mm-hmm. If I see her.
Uh-huh. Clara, welcome to the guild. Try to keep each other safe this week.
Almost like Errol was about to say, watch your backs.
And please just don't let each other jump out of windows. That would be great as a starting point.
Not without a parachute.
Yeah, Will.
I mean, if it's a couple of floors, fine, but
Hi, Errol.
I see it. I understand. Have a really nice day. He like to closes the door. He's like, they're gonna get each other killed. It's gonna happen. They'll get each other killed.
or they're gonna kill a bunch of people. One of the two.
It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be messy.
And then we'll go see RaQui.
Okay, there's a knock on your door as you're starting to get into this book.
I know who it's going to be, so I just go and answer it straight away. I'm looking for a cup of coffee.
And I would have made sure that I got one before I knocked on your door.
Then we're okay. Take the cup of coffee. Hello, Will.
Hello. RaQui, I have some questions for you, and you are the gal that I need to speak to.
I think with your passive insight and the presence of Clara in there are alarms going in your brain right now.
Do we need to sit down for this conversation? I feel like we need to sit down for this conversation. Come in.
You might need to sit down
for this conversation.
Yeah.
Let them in. Take a seat. Just move some paperwork out the way.
Okay, so there's a couple of things.
Uh-huh.
One, there is a message from somebody who just wants to give you a grumpy face.
Yeah, already had those.
Yeah.
Next.
Two, what is the update on what you found?
No, sorry. Which particular part?
The paperwork, the not using the information again.
Right. No update.
No update.
I went out yesterday. You told me I should not stay in here, so I didn't, and I went out.
To the library?
I went and got some coffee.
I'm really proud of you. Clara, we should be really proud of her.
Next question.
Next question. Right, okay. So I have a situation.
Standard. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I need that big massive brain of yours to help me and Clara figure out what we're gonna do regarding my mother and where we can get some potential Weavers stuff and break in and get my mum out. And I figured you were the best person to ask.
Clara goes, I think, okay, I'll take care of it. And Clara goes and gives you a full, like almost like a military brief on the situation. Her mom is being held by the members of a private military contractor whose owner is, Will's mom's actual father. She was taken there against her will, from all evidence pointing to it. Clara knows where it is, but it is a private military contractor. It is a security firm, so going in and out is not going to be without a fight, or got a plan for one. And they need you. Basically, Clara says, where can we get people and resources?
Right. So let me just get this straight. Your mum is being held captive.
Mhm.
You want to go on a highly dangerous mission
Mhm.
where people could potentially die.
Yep.
You want to break in undetected.
Yep.
To rescue her.
Yep.
With extra equipment to help.
Yep.
And you came to the person who examines dead bodies for a living.
Yes, because you have a big brain.
You didn't go to the person who breaks into, or at least used to break into places for a living.
No, you know why? Because he won't help me for shit.
Have you tried asking?
No, but I know for a fact that because
Well, shh. You haven't asked, therefore you do not know. Even if Olo was to offer you 5% of the effort that I could offer you, I deal with dead people for a living. He used to break in to places for a living. 5% of what he can offer you versus 100% of what I can offer you, I know which one I would take.
you've got a bigger brain though.
Yes, there might be something that I can help you with, but it is not that particular part. You need to ask Olo. And with that, I'm going to fire a message over to Olo. Are you busy?
Message back. No.
Can you head up to my apartment?
On my way.
A minute or so later, there's a knock on your door.
I open it. And let him in. I'm going to let him straight in, yeah. Olo, come in. Grab a seat.
Climbs up onto a seat.
Get an acrobatics check.
These chairs are
I
animated.
have a
Oh,
question for you, Olo.
Yep.
And Will here isn't going to say a word whilst we have this conversation. Are you, Will? No, good. In the event that somebody was being held captive, who we believe is an innocent party, and we needed to infiltrate the place where they are being kept captive without being detected, potentially with additional equipment that could help us with that, is your previous expertise potentially something that could be useful in that situation?
I've never used it that gets to someone innocent, but yeah.
But you could help to get to somebody and potentially get them out.
Yeah, don't see why not.
Super. You don't have anything on at the moment, no?
No.
Cool. Olo, please help Will.
Oh,
Will?
it's her.
Will, please be nice, and he'll help.
Coffee.
So, where is it? Where's the building?
Clara gives you the full breakdown. Private military contractor. They have a essentially like a base of operations in the warehouse district. It's disguised to be a simple car warehouse, but there is a facility there. Will's mom is being held there. It's a matter of getting in, getting out, but be ready for, content with a fairly competent security system and security personnel. And worst case scenario, fight your way out or in.
I assume you've got on your hand on blueprints of their buildings.
No, at the moment, but I can get them.
That'll be your first step. By the sound of it, they've probably remodeled, so subsurface should be pretty accurate, but we should be prepared for changes on the interior. We should be able to find purchases highlighting their security systems. We're going to need some way to increase our chances of getting in undetected. We'll have to do some research on off-the-books modules we might be able to get our hands on.
Whilst all of this is going on, RaQui is just staring at Will with the smile on her face becoming more and more smug. The expression is, I told you so.
And you know what's great? That was all part of Will's plan. Because RaQui is smiling.
Mm.
Fucking 5D chess someone's playing here. You continue to discuss the particulars, and I think all of what you're saying is you need layout information on specific. You need specifics, and then you need shady people to acquire things. I will allow any of you, except Clara, of course. Though Clara will provide the help action to whoever wants to, and you gain advantage. A history check.
I'll do it.
You gain advantage. Clara is there to provide, any, bouncing ideas of a wall.
Because Olo barely knows what happened last week, let alone fucking years ago.
It's all right. My history's all right. I'm proficient, apparently. I don't know, remember taking that. 23.
23. You know that, and because Clara helps you by providing ideas of maybe you could contact, our own little mercenary group, etc. And you know, as a member of the Seekers Guild, that if you can make it clear to the Seekers Guild that someone is in danger, they are within their rights to get involved. So if you can provide information on where and how Will's mom is in actual danger, you could potentially recruit Seekers into this job. If you needed to add more warm bodies to this. Or cold bodies, there are some undead in the guild.
The information that I took from the other storage unit that had Roderick in with all of the dossiers on everybody.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a quick flick through. I know that there is one on Will and Will's family.
Yep.
Do I believe that that is potentially somewhere that I can find all of the relevant information that I'd need to back up to go to the Seekers?
Let's have you make an investigation check for that one, just to see, because you're saying flick through. Let's see how much of it stuck to your mind. Because I'm guessing you're not gonna stand up, go, give me a second, Will. I'm gonna check the private dossier that someone has on you.
No, definitely not. Oh, that one wasn't as good. What have I got on investigation? Oh, okay, that's all right actually. Hang on, maths. 23.
23. God, we'll have to reveal this. Oof. Such things. Give me a sec. Here. You on the notes, from what they gathered, there is information on the quote unquote grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
It shows the company that he owns. He is a retired general, and in fact is often referred to as the general by his own forces. Dangerous individual by all means. There's a couple of notes on him. Will's mom is a competent warrior as well. So, Will's mom, if you get her out, she can help in any fighting. So she's already an immediate combatant that you get the moment you open her door. From Will's contacts, her brother Voltaire, and the group that he has around, they're all criminal. They all have a criminal record. Lots of breaking and entering and that sort of thing. So they have had perhaps unsuccessful in some times, but they have experience in breaking into places. And from what it looks in terms of profile for Voltaire, it says that very effective hand-to-hand fighter. And there are several you remember seeing some photos of him in prison being surrounded by gangs and beating the shit out of all of them. He's a monk of your level, basically.
Okay.
Because you rolled higher than a 20, I'll drop you this extra nugget. It's under Voltaire. It says brother. There's a note says adoptive, and that is scratched out, and it says waiting for confirmation on direct biological relation.
Ooh. Okay. So, Will, have you spoken to any of the rest of your family about what's going on?
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
No, deception check. Right about now, deception check versus insight.
15.
Can I use my passive insight?
If you wish. I mean, yeah, sure.
My passive insight is 16.
Yeah, Will is fidgeting a bit, so you know that that's a lie. She is withholding information, perhaps.
Just your dad?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
Why
mean,
not,
technically, I'm not replying to the other person who's contacted me.
who else has contacted you?
Someone I don't want to get involved.
Why?
Because he shouldn't need to get involved.
You want to get your mum out, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the help we can get is going to be valuable. And if it's who I think it is, we both know he has friends.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, looks at both of you and says, am I missing something?
She's
Well-
talking about my brother.
Okay, can your brother help? Is your brother, can he be... I'm sorry to put it in this context, honey, but can he be an asset?
Yes.
I don't know what your family situation is. We haven't really talked about that, but any particular reason you're look uncomfortable with this? I don't want to overstep, but shouldn't he be, I don't know, given the chance to say yes or no?
Because I know he's going to say yes, and he's the first sibling I've reconnected with since I moved out that I was before me.
Well,
You don't want to put him in danger, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried about what will happen if he helps?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. How's he gonna feel if you shut him out, this goes wrong, and he knows that he could have tried to help?
She's going to look at Clara.
Clara takes your hand and very, very calmly looks at you and says, answer the question.
Okay, fine, I'll message him. And she'll reply back.
The message that is now like a week old.
Yeah.
I want to distract away from the fact that Will is messaging him back. Olo, do you think we can put enough stuff together to go to the Seekers and see whether or not we can get some support there as well?
Yeah, we should be able to. I'm sure we've got enough info at the moment to get some interest. Whether it'll be enough to trigger a reaction at the moment, but we could do some recon and get some better if needed.
Okay, super.
You reply to, what do you tell Voltaire?
Making a operation currently. How soon can you get to this address?
You get a text back that says, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And then it says, clear some room.
She'll go to the window. But she's given her address, not RaQui's address. So that's why she's like, I'm going to look out the fucking window.
Shit, this is my apartment.
5 minutes pass. And you get a text. I'm here. Where are you? This apartment is empty.
Yep. Then I can go out and open the door.
You see him and his entire crew in the apartment.
How the fuck do they all fit in there?
They all were very tight together when they teleported in.
Cool. Come this way.
RaQui's apartment now has a whole lot more people in it. So for the record, there's 4 people in the room right now. There's Voltaire, Fire Genasi, Monk. There's his fiancée, a drow sorcerer known as Mira. There is a very stylish looking, almost in like entertainer suit. It's big neck, a cravat with a very shiny gem, an orc bard known as Lynn, and looking very just unassuming. Very unassuming. You would not recognize him on a crowd. Just dressed in a normal shirt and jeans is Pavrik the Human Rogue. I called in some Voltaire says, I called in some favors and got someone to bring us around. We're already planning to come here. I had my own people. By I say my own people, I made other calls, paid a bit of money, and found out Mom is in town, your town. So I was already coming here, but since you seem to have something in motion, I defer to you, little sis. He has a smug face and look on his face that matches the one you gave RaQui.
While this is happening, can I send a message to Errol?
No.
What do you tell Errol?
Have your grumpy faces back. ... Thought you might want to know this is the situation, and just a very brief explanation of what's going on right now with Will and Will's mum.
Errol, you get this message. You are basically saying that your friends are planning essentially a heist on a very dangerous private military security firm to rescue Will's adoptive mother. And yeah, that's the plan. It's likely happening in the next few days.
And you're not invited.
And I am telling you right now, you're reading this. I don't know what Errol thinks he should do, but I can tell you for certain this will rock the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And I think as you read this message and realize the implication of it all, I think that's a perfect place to leave our session.
He's been thinking this whole time, like, what the fuck is going on upstairs? And then gets this message.
From your from your point
A lot
of view,
footballs.
from your point of view, RaQui and Will, when Valches sent the message, why is this apartment empty? You would have heard like a thump of them all, quote unquote, arriving. Yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it for tonight, and we'll see where this leads us next time. Thank you all for joining us. We'll just quickly go around. People can say who they are and where you can find Dark Corners with the internet if they wish to share that. So Jade.
Hi, I'm Jade. I played Will, and you will find me here every Sunday playing this game, and every other Friday playing Vampire the Masquerade, also on this channel. And also check out the Lawful Geek YouTube and watch Kernels of Mystery, which is a Kids on Bikes autumn series with lots of cool guests.
Nate.
I'm Nate. I've been playing Errol Remenash, the Cragling Fighter, with some current drama. I may have been lying at the beginning. And echoing Jade, you can find me here and on the Lawful Geek YouTube channel playing the same games.
Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash. I was playing Olo, the rogue who's apparently not good enough to talk to about breaking into places.
Yeah.
And Kat.
And I am Kat. I have been playing RaQui, who clearly does not care for boundaries with people wanting time with their partners.
I will figure out how that continues next time. Thank you all for watching. Hope you had a good time, and we'll see you next time. Bye.